SilentKay Gaming here, bringing you a 6-part series. This is part number 1. I am doing a series on the guns, the primary guns only, from Battlefield 1943, the arcade game for Xbox Live and PS3 Marketplace. Whatever the hell PS3 is called, I don't know. But anyways, today I'm starting off with the Thompson. Technically, more specific, the M1A1 version of the Thompson. There are many different versions of the Thompsons. I made this little background for the video. I have some information on the side if you want to read that yourself. The Thompson was designed first around 1917 to 1920. Again, there was many versions, so they were all around that period of time. John T. Thompson designed that gun. Obviously, that's where it gets its name from. 10.6 pounds is what the M1A1 weighs, empty, without any ammunition in it. The length is 32 inches long, and the rifle would be 660 RPM. That's basically the basic information of the Thompson submachine gun. Is a 45 caliber assault rifle used in many wars. Mainly the most popular war this gun was used in was in World War II. This gun was in World War II, also the Korean War, Vietnam War, the Irish Civil War, and the Irish Revolution. A couple other wars, but nothing really too important right there. It can shoot. The effective range for this gun is it starts to lose damage about after 75 feet. That's when it starts to lose, or actually, sorry, 160 feet. I'm reading something wrong. 160 feet is when the gun starts to lose the range and the damage for that gun. It was M1A1, which is the gun which is in the variant that was used in the game. There was many types of Thompsons that were originally brought into the U.S. for any war and combat and whatnot. The first one was a model 1919, which was limited to only 40 units sold in the United States for the United States Army. And even though there were many versions, the model 1919 was the first one with 40 units, but they had the biggest rate of fire with about 1500 RPM. And they basically stopped using it after a couple years because there were so many types of Thompsons. The M1A1 is the one we're specifically talking about. Is a 45 caliber M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, and it is produced. The only reason it came into existence because it was there's an earlier gun called the M1928A1, and the Thompson M1A1 could be produced in half of that time and a much lower cost. So this came into effect. And it was very nice and it was mainly used in World War II by almost all the Marines. It was a 30-round magazine, and it had a major price drop between the years of 1939 and 1944. About 1939, the price was about $209, and towards February 1944, the price dropped down to the record price of $45 each, including the accessories and the spare parts. So, and then shortly after that, it got replaced in the Second World War, towards the end of the Second World War, by the M1A1, which was replaced, by the lower cost M3, which is now commonly known as the grease gun. Everybody knows what the grease gun is. I certainly do. It's a pretty famous gun. And the Thompson was designed, obviously, as I said, 1917 and 1920. It was in service officially in the U.S. Army from the years of 1938 until 1971. That spans basically from World War I all the way up until the Vietnam War, towards the end of the Vietnam War, maybe the Korean War. The barrel of this gun, the size of the barrel is 10.5 inches long. The length of the gun is 32 inches. I believe that's already on the sidebar for you guys to read. Yes, that is. All the variants of this gun can range between 600 to 1500 RPM. As I said before, the 1919, or the model 1919, has the biggest RPM, or the biggest rate of fire and muzzle velocity is 285 meters per second. With that, equals out to 935 feet per second. And the feed system for this is basically mostly all the Thompsons, can add an extra magazine, like the drum magazine, 50 round drum magazine, 100 round drum magazine, 30 and 20 box stick magazines. But the M1A1 and the variant we're talking about in this video, it does not accept any drum magazines. It does not take any stick or box magazines, so it sticks with the simple, normal, 30 round magazine. So it does not take any like 35 or 40 box magazines. It sticks with that. What else? World War II is when it first became. Basically, it was most famous during World War II. Less and less were shipped out to the U.S. government and the U.S. Army after World War II. It was very commonly, it was very rarely seen in the Korean War and the Vietnam War in the later 70s, when that finally started to disappear. And the numbers built. Here's an interesting fact. There's almost 2 million approximate in the world Thompson submachine guns, and there is a total of 8 variants of the Thompson submachine gun, and the most famous one is the M3 or the M1A1. M3 is the grease gun. M1A1 is the standard Thompson that is seen in this gameplay. There are also many countries that have used this gun, U.S. being the main one. There have been many countries that have used unlicensed copies of this gun, which are basically illegal. Don't have any license to make this gun. They're not they're basically using it legally. That includes places like North Vietnam and China, and a bunch of other little countries like Haiti, Ireland, France. Other countries like that, the UK and Sweden, Russia, South Vietnam, also using many minor copies of the Thompson, but US being the main one. Guys, if you like this video, as it is coming to an end, if you like this, if I informed you, if you didn't know much before coming in this video, I'm glad I taught you something. Please give it a like, and favorite if you want, and please subscribe, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.